please, Madam Vice President Kamala Harris.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Essence Fest.
Well, we are both so humbled to be here with you, especially. So let's get into it. The Supreme Court has come down recently with some interesting decisions. They're interesting. We're talking affirmative action. We're talking LGBTQ rights. We're talking about student loan forgiveness. And I know you would like to address these things directly. You have the stage.
Thank you, Sunny. And let me just start by saying, Monica and Sunny, it's so wonderful to be on the stage with you. And then to be in this room with all these incredible leaders. Don't we just love Essence Fest? It's so important that we do this. It is so important that we do this. So, you know, I am a daughter of parents who met when they were active in the civil rights movement. And among the heroes of that movement were folks like Thurgood Marshall, Charles Hamilton Houston, Constance Baker Motley, who understood the power of the law to translate the passion from the streets to the courtrooms of our country, to do the work that is about reminding us of the promise of America, which includes the promise of freedom and equality, and I would add also access to opportunity. And those of us who have chosen to take on the roles that we have believe in that promise, but are also clear-eyed that we've not yet quite achieved it, but it is worthwhile that we will work and fight to get there. And we've seen success over the years through that process. I think, dare I say, none of us would be here were it not for Brown v. Board of Education, which desegregated the schools of America. And I could go on with the decisions, but Sonny, to your point, we have seen from 2013 in Shelby v. Holder, where they gutted the Voting Rights Act, barely 50 years after it had been passed. And then a year ago this week, with the Dobbs decision, that court took a constitutional right that had been recognized from the women of America, from the people of America. And then just in the last, 48 hours, undoing affirmative action, taking away access to opportunity for our best and brightest who may not otherwise have access to the relationships or certain high schools that otherwise would give them the leg up. Undoing a policy that our President Joe Biden and I felt so strongly about, which is relieving people who have studied and don't have personal wealth of the burden of student loan debt. And by the way, don't believe the hype in terms of how some of these folks have been talking during these interviews about it, because here's the deal. With what we did to forgive student loan debt, $10,000, and if you're a Pell Grant recipient, $20,000, and if you went to an HBCU, it is likely that you are a Pell Grant recipient. The design and the implementation of that relief of student loan debt would have played out such that 90% of those who would have received it on an annual basis make less than $75,000 a year. And we're talking about young people who have otherwise talked with me, and everyone knows, who are worrying about whether they will ever be able to start a family whether they'll ever be able to realize the American dream of buying a home, whether they'll be able to get out of debt so they can pursue a profession for which they have a passion, versus what they may have to do just to get those debts paid, even though they want to work hard and contribute to our society. This decision about the denial of understanding the importance of the evolution we had to say that businesses cannot discriminate based on who you are. And a decision that has essentially said that we're going to just throw a truck through the laws that were designed to prevent discrimination and to deprive anyone just based on who they are from having access to publicly available services. So, I say this. Coretta Scott King famously said, the fight for civil rights must be fought and won with each generation. We are that generation she spoke of at this moment in time. And so fight we must, understanding that the gains that we have made will never be permanent unless we are vigilant. And I say that means let us fight for the future we deserve. Fight for the future we deserve.
And thank you for leading that fight.
Thank you.
Along with President Biden. This kid from the South Bronx Projects would not be sitting here in front of you today if it were not for affirmative action. And I'm a proud recipient of affirmative action. We need it. We need it. I'm the first person to graduate from college in my family. First person to graduate from law school in my family. And it was because of affirmative action. There's no shame in that.